Welcome to Bucksall Woodworks. I'm Christopher Bakken, and I do green woodwork. Recently, I had the opportunity to collaborate with James Wright of Wood by Wright on a curious bit of woodwork, shrink pots. If you'd like to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description down below. And if you'd like to learn how to make your own shrink pot, stay tuned till the end. When picking timber, look for defects such as bark inclusions and branches. You can easily identify these by variation in the bark or irregular spots in the end grain. Good timber should be free of any defects, a soft hardwood, and straight grained. Mark about 1/4 to 3/8 inch thick wall around the inner circumference of the pot. Don't count the bark in this measurement. There are two methods I know for hollowing the pot. The first is a single hole, the widest drill bit you own. The wider the hole, the less work you have to do in the end. If you enjoy carving with knives, use this method. If you prefer working with gouges, you want to drill multiple holes. Be careful not to blow out the back of your shrink pot. If you opted to drill a single hole, get your hook knife. Start by hollowing both ends of your pot, then move from one end of the pot to the other, removing material in the middle, using the ends as a gauge. If you drilled multiple holes, you'll want an end cannel gouge. Start by removing the material between the holes. Sometimes material gets stuck, so come from the other end with the gouge. Push the splinters out. This will give you relief to split the rest of the material out, slowly working up to your line. When you get close, switch to the hook knife and finish up hollowing. You'll need a V-shaped groove in the inner rim of your shrink pot. This is what holds the bottom. Mark 3/8 to 1/4 inch up on the inner rim. When cutting this line, you want the knife to be tight against the bottom of your shrink pot. This cut needs to be as vertical as possible. Mark a line 1/8 inch below the first. I like to hold my knife like a pencil. When making this cut, angle your knife about 45 degrees. The goal is to have the cuts meet. To make your puck, you need a board that is about 3/8 of an inch thick. Use the corner of the board so you're able to get your coping saw all the way around. You'll set the pot on your board and trace the inner rim with the groove. You can use a pencil or a scratch-awl, both work well. Cut the puck out with a coping saw, leaving some material around your mark. You can always trim this later. Mark the puck and the shrink pot. It will help line things back up later. Mark the edge and the bottom of your puck. Use a finger gauge to mark approximately the center of your puck's thickness. Using a straight blade sloyd knife, not going across the grain, but with the grain, bevel your puck to the center line. Do this before trimming your puck. It'll make it a lot easier later. If it's too hard to get in, trim the edge till it fits. If it's too big, the pot will split when drying. Always cut uphill, otherwise the material will want to split, not slice. Putting one end of your puck in the groove we made earlier, work the other side into the groove. You may need to tap on it with something. It shouldn't be too loose either. There should be a bit of resistance. To dry your shrink pot, you need a plastic bag and some cloth. Stuff and wrap the cloth around your shrink pot. Put it in the plastic bag and get rid of as much air as possible. Then put it on a shelf till tomorrow. This slows the drying process, reducing the possibility of splits. First thing when you get in the shop, unwrap and replace the cloth with a dry one. The cloth will be damp to the touch. If the cloth is dry when you unpack it, go ahead and leave it out to air dry the rest of the way. You can remove the bark at any stage. I leave it on to help slow the drying process. I like to use my knife for removing bark. However, you can use a draw knife or spoke shave. If you use a vise to hold your work, refrain from putting it in sideways. The vise can easily crush your shrink pot if you're not careful. Instead, put it in the vise lengthwise. This is a much less risky way to secure your shrink pot. Shrink pots are a fun and beginner-friendly project, but don't listen to me, go try it for yourself. You can decorate them as much or as little as you'd like. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. And if you have any questions or ideas you want to run past me, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Have a fantastic day, and until we meet again.